Hussy here. I'm on a fool's errand. I'm driving 2 hours into the desert to look for my lost car key. I was out exploring with my friend Larry back in November at a very, very remote plane crash site. And, oh, it's kind of a long story, but it was kind of getting towards sunset. We didn't have a lot of time, and I was trying to get all this footage of the plane crash. But then we noticed this other mysterious tower up the hill from the wreckage site, and I wanted to check that out too, figure out what was in that tower. Come to find out, it turned out there was nothing in the tower. We couldn't get into it, so it was kind of a bust. But in all of that excitement, I somehow lost my car key. I have a habit of just taking my car key off my key ring when I'm off exploring, and I just stick it in my bra. Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of empty real estate in my bra and not much to hold things in place. So in my excitement, climbing around and hiking between the plane crash site and the mysterious tower, I lost my car key. It fell out of my bra and is probably just laying in the desert somewhere. Now at the time, it was cold and windy and, like I said, getting towards dark, so I just really didn't feel like looking for it. And I guess I was kind of lazy because I had a spare, and what's more, I had a second spare at home, so I really didn't think it was such a big deal. Oh, boo-hoo, I lose 1 out of 3 keys. Well, I didn't realize that those electronic keys for cars nowadays are like $300 to replace. So I found that out back in November. That still wasn't really enough to get me back out there to look for it. But now, the replacement clicker key that I have stopped working. I guess the battery died in it. So, oh my God, it's a first world problem on the most urgent magnitude. I have to manually open my car whenever I want to get in. I can't just click it to lock it. But all joking aside, it's actually kind of a real liability, because when you can use your clicker to shut the car off, it automatically turns the headlights off. Well, it doesn't do that anymore, and as a consequence, I had a dead battery when I was down in Arizona. So I don't want that to happen again. So I figure I finally had a free day and was able to get my butt out of bed at a reasonable hour, so I'll have plenty of daylight to drive back out to this remote desert location where I lost my key and see if I can find it. I know it probably sounds bizarre to those of you who don't live out here that I would even assume my key is still there almost 3 months later, but the fact of the matter is, it was an extremely desolate place where that plane crash wreckage was. I don't think anybody ever goes up there, let alone hike around between that and that tower. So the odds are, I'd say, pretty good that the key is still laying wherever I dropped it. I mean, I don't think any animals would have taken it and run off with it. I don't think, as windy as it gets out here, the wind would be strong enough to blow it away, and it hasn't rained heavily enough to wash it away. So, fingers crossed, I have a pretty good hunch that my key will be found lying exactly where I dropped it. Now, how am I going to know exactly where I dropped it? That's the challenge. I don't have a metal detector, and even if I did have a metal detector, there's so much debris from the plane crash wreckage that the damn thing would go beeping off every 2.5 seconds. So I'm just going to have to use my good old-fashioned peepers and just go up there and methodically comb the area between the plane crash wreckage and the tower. It's not a lot of ground to cover. I can drive almost the entire way to the site. I have to get out and hike a little bit at the end. And it's not that rough of a road, but Larry did offer to accompany me, so I'll have an extra pair of eyes. I'm going to meet him where the pavement ends, and we're going to drive up there together and see if we can find the lost car key. Wonderhussy. Okay, Larry just messaged me that he wants me to pick him up at the Amargosa Opera House because his girlfriend works there, so he's been hanging out there a lot. Hey, Larry!
Hey! How's it going?
It's going good. So, what do you think? Are we going to find this key?
Well, you know, bad things kind of happen every once in a while, and, well, we're going to try and turn that around today and find a key.
Bad things don't happen to me, Larry.
Opportunities?
It's an opportunity for an adventure.
Awesome.
up pretty much to the exact spot where we parked last time. Thanks to Larry. Larry went and rewatched my old video to make sure. And we even found my old tire tracks in the dirt from last time we were here. I mean, no one comes up here, so we were probably the last vehicle to be up here back in November. So I'm feeling good. Smells like car key. I think we're gonna find it. Oh man, we searched all around this plane crash wreckage and no key. And then we walked over to that creepy little hut and no key. So I don't know, man. I feel like I'm looking for a needle in a haystack in a way. In my memory, this wasn't such a vast search area as it actually is. And to be honest, I kind of didn't want to upload this video unless I actually found the key, because me saying, oh, I didn't find it is basically an advertisement like, hey everybody, the key to Wonderhussy's car is laying up on a mountain. Anybody could come and get it and steal my car. But the reality is this area is so vast and so hard to get to that the chance of anyone finding my car key, myself included, is pretty near astronomical. I mean, at least I sort of remember the routes that I took when I was walking around, so I have a slight edge. But that being said, Larry and I aren't having any luck. But we did see something else kind of cool. Okay, so the backstory with this plane crash was there's a guy trying to deliver a Christmas tree to a family in Death Valley, and he crashed this airplane on the side of this mountain on Christmas. It's terrible. So in the comments, I guess somebody was asking if we found the Christmas tree itself in the wreckage, and I didn't see this on my previous visit, but look. That looks like a pine tree trunk, I guess, right? I mean, it's about the diameter that a Christmas tree would be. I don't know why it would be broken into 3 pieces. I'm really guessing that it had to have been the tree trunk, though, because, I mean, look around. There's no other trees up here. It's just creosote. Trees don't grow here. So the fact that there's these 3 pieces of wood is a pretty strong indicator that that was the Christmas tree. Really sad. Oh man, well, I guess I'm giving up on the crash site. I mean, Larry and I both sort of combed over it twice, and there's no sign of my key. Interestingly, I don't know if you remember from my previous video, but we found, on that Explorer, we found the old headset that the pilot had been wearing. Part of the headset was here, and we can't find that now. So that either means, well, we somehow just didn't see it, which seems weird because we've been here for a while, or somebody did come up here in the meantime. But if someone came up here in the meantime from watching my video, which I didn't identify where this site was, and they really wanted to scavenge some cool, you know, souvenir, is the headset really the thing they would have taken? I mean, there's all kind of other stuff here that's even cooler. So I'm not sure if it was a person, maybe a wind or rain or something, or an animal moved it. I don't know. But either way, it does indicate that there is some movement of objects here, and, you know, theoretically my key could have gotten moved by whatever moved that headset. Oh man, well, we searched all around that creepy container cabin thing as well, twice, and there's no sign of my key there either. So, as much as it bums me out to say, I don't think I'm gonna find my key today. I'm not quite giving up yet though, because I still have to walk all the way back to my car, which you can see way back there in the distance. So, slim chance though it may be, I may find the key between here and there, just laying in the desert. But before I start walking back to the car, there's one more thing I want to do while I'm out here. I don't know if you remember from my first video, but there's this amazing overlook over here with an incredible view of Death Valley. And I just want to go visit that one more time before I leave. Look at this view. All of Death Valley spread out before us. All the beautiful colors, textures, formations. You can probably hear that jet flying overhead. This also happens to be the week when they're doing some kind of crazy, what'd you say it was, Larry?
It's some kind of maneuvers they're putting on.
At Nellis Air Force Base in Vegas. So there's, I think it's pilots from all over the US.
Yes.
Doing all kind of crazy air maneuvers this week. So I'm sure they're flying sorties out here into Death Valley because why wouldn't you? Wah, I didn't find my key. Shocker. But that's okay, I still have this other one. I mean, this is what it looks like. It was pretty big, so you think as much as we looked around, we would have found it if it was even still there. So Larry's theory is that some little lizard is using it as a backrest in his lizard cave. A lizard throne. So I'll take it. But Larry, I gotta thank you for coming out here and helping me look for this.
Happy to help.
Helping me on this fool's errand.
Anytime.
So yeah, exactly. Even though we didn't find the key, we had a great little explore. It was nice to revisit that plane crash and get some fresh air, sunshine in the beautiful desert. So like they say about the Fen treasure, which is that treasure I've been looking for up in the Rocky Mountains, the actual treasure is the hunt itself. You know, it's kind of a constellation thing. Well, in this instance, I guess the key was the search itself. I'm not sure that's gonna help me open my car, but okay, I'll take it. Well, that was kind of a bummer, but like I said, at least I got some fresh air and got to enjoy this beautiful late January day in the desert. It's January 30th, and spring is just kind of starting to put its feelers out. Really nice time to be in Death Valley, which is basically where we are, right outside Death Valley. And since I'm in the area anyways, and I have to drive back to Vegas through Tecopa, or that's one route I can take, I'm gonna stop off at the hot spring in Tecopa to gather some mud from the bottom of the hot pond, because it's bentonite clay, if you know what that is. It's this thick, ooey gooey clay that a lot of people ascribe medicinal qualities to. I don't know about any of that, but I do know I was out there a couple days ago for a photo shoot, and I put the mud on my forehead to make it kind of look like war paint, and man, it really helped dry up the acne that I had on my forehead. I've had really bad broken out skin lately, and nothing I've tried has worked. I mean, I've been slathering on all kinds of horrible chemicals, and man, it's still real broken out. So I think if I scoop up some of this bentonite clay from the bottom of the hot spring, I can do a mud pack when I get home, and that might help draw out all the toxins, or at least dry out my pimples. And since it's on my way home anyway, but first I gotta pass through Shoshone, so I'm gonna stop there and get a snack, because I'm friggin' starving. I'm addicted to these friggin' things. They're called Japanese peanuts, or crunchy peanuts. So you see them in places where there's a lot of Mexicans, because they're popular in Mexico. They're from Mexico City. There's some Japanese guy in Mexico City who came up with this thing. I don't know, it's just a peanut coated in a crunchy shell, and they're friggin' addictive and awesome. So good. All right, onward to the hot spring. There's a few other cars here at the Tecopa mud hole, so it looks like there's a few other people soaking, but that's fine with me. I'll just make some new friends. Just gotta put on my robe and get ready to go soak. You know me, I like to soak au natural. No bathing suit or anything like that. But this is YouTube, so can't show everything. That's what this robe is good for. Ah, much better. Oh, you guys, can you believe this is a real backdrop? I'm not using any crazy software. I'm just using my friggin' Samsung cell phone on the forward-facing camera, no less, or the selfie-facing camera, so it's not even the good camera. And look how amazing these colors are coming out. This place is magic. I mean, I'm really glad I stopped here. Part of me was like, maybe I should just go home and call it an early night, start working on some video editing, but another more important part of me said, are you crazy? The hard thing about this place is once you get in the water, it's really hard to ever get out. But I don't want to be here all night. Because there's this French TV show in town that wants to do an episode with me about urbex, urban exploring. And the producer flew into Vegas today, I think, and he said he was going to call me tonight about possibly going out into an abandoned casino. And there's no cell signal out here, so I'm just going to do a quick dip, get the mud I need, and then hightail it back to town. But oh my god, it's going to be so hard to leave this place. Look at it. Ugh. If you've never been here to Tecopa, you're missing out. Such a good idea. Alright, I got my mud in this little tub here. I'm going to make the long drive back to Vegas. It's only about 90 minutes. And take off my makeup and do a nice healing mud pack. Love those frogs. Oh yeah, I can feel the toxins being drawn right out of my pores.